Today marks the debut of Up for Debate, a three-part series that explores the past, present, and future of sports debate. The series spans 7 decades, from Howard Cosell to Stephen A. Smith to Cameron, and explores how sports discourse arrived at this very moment, why it's here now, and where it's going next.
All industries associated with journalism are there to make you uncomfortable.
Common sense is what should prevail.
Where are you working at? I'm sorry.
What we've seen in terms of evolution is the destabilization of the legacy media.
What did you do last night?
I don't know why this person
We are here doing what we do. If they don't like it, get over it.
Whatever you say, it's fantastic television.
Check out Up for Debate, the evolution of sports media, executive produced by Stephen A. Smith, now streaming exclusively on ESPN+. Stephen A., huge congratulations on the project. I know Mad Dog and I both sat down for interviews. I don't know if we made the cut, but love what
hours of interviews.
Oh, mine wasn't hours. Mine was quicker.
No food either. No coffee.
No food? Oh, they took care of me.
Spend some money, for crying out loud.
All right, but in all seriousness, Stephen A., what do you want viewers to take away from this project?
Well, I mean, the times that we're living in right now, everybody's got a podcast and everybody has the freedom of their opinion. The reason why this project was so important to me, and I've collaborated as my production company, Mr. SAS Productions, myself along with Religion of Sports produced this project, and I'm very proud of it. It was important to me because I remember from the days of Howard Cosell to the sports centers to Mike and the Mad Dog with Mad Dog Russo doing his radio show, to First Take with Skip Bayless, to now me, to seeing what the industry has transitioned into, where everybody has a voice. It wasn't like that once upon a time. And the level of discourse that you're witnessing right now, you don't know where it's coming from a lot of times. A lot of people have become incredibly popular. You've got a situation right now where people like Shannon Sharp and others have highlighted they're making more money now than he made as a professional athlete, for crying out loud. There's so many opportunities. Joe Rogan is such a huge figure in this industry with what he's been able to accomplish, along with the bevy of others. And you can't say enough about it. But the flip side to it is that no one knows where the hell it's going. There's nothing policing anything, it seems. You go out there, you have a voice, it resonates. What is the industry turning into? What is it transformed into? This is why it was important to talk to Mad Dog Russo for this project, important to talk to a guy like Michael Wilbon and others for this project. I watched sports from the days of Howard Cosell. To me, it all originated from him in terms of sports commentary. And we saw Sports Center folks become personalities. We saw Mike and the Mad Dog all of a sudden become huge personalities. And talk radio boomed because of it. And the advent of the podcast world and what have you has come into focus. And so looking at the industry, where it was, where it is, where the hell is it going? This is something that I think that the sports world really would be very interested in and beyond, because it's not just sports with podcasts, it's a bevy of other industries as well. It was something that I thought was important to tackle, and that's why I took on this project with the fervor that I did, and I hope everybody enjoys it.
Yeah, Stephen A., I find it so fascinating, even being on this show for just 8 years, how much the landscape has changed and the opportunities now in media. But Mad Dog, I'm curious from your perspective, because you're also a pioneer in this space, in addition to Stephen A., with Mike and the Mad Dog. You know, I'm not trying to date you, but grew up listening to you in the car with my dad. You know, you're a fixture, a staple, right, in this tri-state area. Everyone knows Mike and the Mad Dog. What do you think of where we are right now?
Well, I mean, it's, I think, much more right now of a TV industry than it used to be, where it's really a radio industry. I think TV is, the power of television is incredible. Everybody knows that they can sell you have a message, so you can sell it to beer companies, to sports. You can sell the product that you're putting together, and it all starts with the sale anyway, because if you have the revenue from the sales, you can put anything on. Throw in the idea that anybody can make a contribution with a podcast. You didn't have that 30 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, when Mike and I started 30 years ago on 1988, 89, our first Super Bowl in New Orleans, you know, we did that show in a hotel lobby.
Wow.
It was Niners in Cincinnati, 55-10 San Francisco, and we were outside of Eddie Edelman and Howard Eskin in Philly. There was no radio stations there.
I
None.
used to work with Howard Eskin, NFL Network. Yeah.
And 3 years later, with the Dallas Buffalo game,
Yeah.
they put us in a convention, a hotel, and then look at it now. Stephen walks in there with his buddies, and he's got all his, he's got his
He's got
5 or
his
6
team,
stations.
he's
It's
got his
funny.
security.
It's funny to see him walk in there. There's millions and millions of
Unbelievable.
radio stations,
Yeah.
and podcasters doing all their thing. And then you throw up the power of television. I think that's very, very important, and I'm a perfect example of that. I can sometimes scream out the window. Who knows who's listening? I come over here. I do 5 minutes with him. I scream at him, have a fight with J.J. Redick.
Yeah.
The whole world's paying attention.
Yeah.
Because people follow sports now in clips. In the old days, they listened. All right, half hour here. Now they watch Stephen A. in a clip. They listen to Joe Rogan in a clip. They put me on with the Mad About in a clip. And it's easy to listen to things and watch things in clips. And so the whole world is paying attention.
Yeah.
You did not have that 30, 40 years ago under any circumstances.
And you have the social media, and you have
Well, that's
the
it. That's
streaming,
part of it, the
and
clip.
you have YouTube and all those different things. Stephen A., I'm really excited to see some of those clips that you had in those promos. I remember those moments in the aftermath.
It's about a half hour each episode or whatever, but it was necessary, and I think it was necessary because of the times that we're living in, and you have a lot of people, and the word fear is appropriate here from the standpoint that you look at the whole stratosphere of podcasting and what have you, and a lot of people believe it's not policed enough, that everybody has the freedom to have a voice, but you can say anything. You can almost get away with anything.
Yeah.
That wasn't what the world was like. And as a guy that was raised in the newspaper industry, I tell people this story all the time, Doggy and Molly. In 2003, when I was named a general sports columnist for the Philadelphia Inquirer, I was the 21st African American in this nation's history to become a general sports columnist. That means you had the license to give your opinion. Prior to that, only 20 people who happened to be African American could give their opinion. Now anybody can have an opinion. So I came up at a time where you had to earn your stripes and earn the right to just express yourself. Doggy was in talk radio, being a pioneer, spearheading the way and, provoking the advent of sports talk radio, which ultimately now has really, really transitioned to more podcasting than anything else. That's why it was so important to have him as a part of this series. But there were lines that were drawn in the sand. Now we don't know where it is. It's a bit foggy. And it's got an industry. It's got Madison Avenue scared. It's got a whole bunch of people up on their toes wondering where all of this is going. I decided to tackle that issue in concert with Religion and Sports. I'm very, very proud of what we've done.
Yeah.
Everybody involved, ESPN helped out tremendously as well. And we're looking forward to everybody seeing it. And I think it's going to resonate with a lot of people who watch it, because it's not just about sports. It's about the whole talk industry and what it's transforming into.
Yeah, and I think like anything, Stephen A., it's a blessing and a curse, right? Up for debate, streaming live on ESPN Plus right now. Make sure to go check that out.